SQL Projects is now preview in SSMS. Learn all about it and see how easy it is to get started this week on Data Exposed. Hi, I'm Anna Hoffman, and welcome back to Data Exposed. Today, I have Drew joining us again. Thanks so much for joining us, Drew.
Hey, Anna, thanks for having me.
It's awesome to have you. And today is an especially awesome day because we are covering SQL projects and SSMS. And this is brand new, something that the team has been working on for a long time. So I'd love to learn a little bit from you, Drew. Like, why did we do this? And, maybe take us through a spin of what it's like.
Yeah, the question around why SQL projects and SSMS is a great question because it gets to the core of how SQL projects enable you and your team to deal with your database in terms of having a development lifecycle. So you could be using SSMS for a number of different reasons, but you impact a database early in development while it's more stable in production or somewhere in between. And so we're landing SQL projects in SSMS so that no matter who you are in a team, you're empowered to be part of that development process.
Awesome, cool. I mean, that sounds great for exactly a variety of scenarios and a variety of personas, which is awesome. I know it's also been a really highly voted request on the SSMS DevCom site, so it's great to see that. Anything else we should know, or should we just dive in?
Yeah, let's definitely dive in. I think before I start showing what we do have now, I do want to mention that you referenced the DevCom site where people can ask for features or report issues. And I highly encourage people as they start to kick the tires on SQL projects, whether you're an experienced user or a new user, go ahead and reach out to us. Let us know what you're missing, what you're looking for, what was hard, what was easy. We want to know. We want to know all of it.
Awesome. Yeah,
But
absolutely. We'll put a link to that in the notes.
yeah. So in this scenario that I want to use to kind of show off how to get started with SQL projects in SSMS, we have a database for the upcoming or recently occurred WNBA draft that gives us kind of draft history. So let's say last year, the Seattle Storm selected Dominique Malonga second. All of this information is a part of a database that I have, got tables, views, stored procedures, all of these things that are a part of a living, breathing database. That means that I can have different kinds of data. I could have things that are more like reference data, so the different years for the draft, or I could have things that are more dynamic and ongoing, like the actual picks. So if we scroll down to 2026, we have no picks yet because we don't know who's been selected. All of this, as that database gets developed, could change. And we need to keep track of that. Sometimes people think of that as like database and source control. How do I know that? Let's go from Object Explorer to database as code. That's your SQL project.
Amazing. So how does it work?
Yeah, so I'm going to start by creating an empty project. The File New Project menu is where I'll land. And then there's now a SQL database project template here. You do have to have installed the Database DevOps preview workload in SSMS, kind of like you would have had enabled a Copilot if you added GitHub Copilot. And we'll call this our draft database. And I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and create it. So I'm not having to select a whole bunch of options. All I did was pick a spot in my file structure. And this project is empty for all intents and purposes. This SQL project file uses the Microsoft.build.sql SDK, which is the same one that's used in VS Code. So I could pop over into VS Code right now and start developing, or vice versa.
Nice.
The other thing the project has that I'm going to come back to, put a pin in, is this project knows which version of SQL I'm developing for. All those, SQL Server, Azure SQL Database, they're all really, really similar, but not exactly the same. And so SQL projects can help us take a little bit of that edge off sometimes. If I use the very newly added feature to import from database, I can bring all of those objects from the database into my SQL project by selecting that. The other really cool part about this feature is that you don't have to have an empty project to do this. I could have brought my database into a project and then did some more development. And if I'm not developing in the SQL project, that's okay. I can develop on the database and then select overwrite existing objects in the project, and it'll just update them for me.
Oh, that actually is really nice because I could see, like, reasonably, especially DBAs are gonna kind of operate in a both fashion, at least for a while.
For sure. Anybody could be operating um, in a both or an only outside the
Yeah.
SQL project. It really depends on, are you using an ORM like SQL Alchemy or EF Core, or where are you in that development lifecycle? Are you rapidly iterating with like Codex or the Copilot CLI, or are you in a more stable database where you're changing a view or a stored procedure once a week? It all depends. All that talk, and we have our database as code now. So we have these table definitions. And that was a 30-second adventure there that now we could be adding our database to source control. Really nice and simply.
Awesome. So then I'm done, nothing else that I might wanna do here?
So I it's a little bit anticlimactic because, like, it's so easy once you have your database in source control, and if that change history of your database being in source control is all you need, then
Yeah,
this was it.
amazing.
Create my Git repo, and as I update it, you get that change history. But that is not it for SQL projects. There's 2 quick kind of value adds I wanna remind everybody about. The first one is I'm developing on localhost right now. I have this really cool looking website where I can like drag and drop my draft picks because maybe I feel like I wanna make a wild guess. But this is all localhost, and I'm ready to get this into Azure so that I can enjoy the fame and fortune that comes with launching a hobby website. What I can do, though, to get that started is I have an Azure SQL database for the WNBA draft. It's empty, though. It doesn't have any tables in it. It's kind of it's an empty shell ready for deployment. When I have this SQL project and I'm like, well, I've been building it for SQL Server. Does it work for Azure SQL Database? I can do a really quick check by changing that SQL target platform and then running a build to see has anything been found in this database that won't work for Azure SQL Database. Um, in this case, the build's going to succeed. I had a relatively basic database, no cross database queries, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so I could readily immediately publish it right to Azure, effectively having like a multi target database, almost like having .NET 10 and .NET 8 in the same project.
Amazing. That I mean, and it makes it super simple to very quickly flag any issues that you might face from going to local to cloud.
Exactly. And it also means that you can be developing for both at the same time. So even though I might want to be deploying to Azure SQL Database, the other big thing that there is to love about SQL projects is it enables you to set up automations. So I can use GitHub Actions to make sure, does my reference data still publish to the database? Nobody's changed the reference
Mhm.
data and nobody's changed the database. So I can check this before I deploy to prod, but that does mean that I'm going to use a SQL Server container in that deployment pipeline. And the big thing to call out here is not only does it run that container, but it also builds the SQL project, just what we did locally. And then it uses the SQL package CLI to deploy that database to that container in the pipeline. So all of these steps that we might think of for setting up a development environment locally to test things, to spin up our website, we can do in automation in GitHub Actions or Azure DevOps, so that the SQL project lets us very quickly create that database and test with it. And then it's the SQL package CLI that can do deployments either to a container or to Azure. It doesn't matter. It's able to take that SQL project and send it anywhere. So that's kind of going from just getting your database to code and then the different layers that you can start adding on top of it.
Yeah, I think
That's
like one of the
starting from
things that
SSMS.
was kinda cool to me that I know you weren't intentionally trying to show off, or maybe you were, but, like, you started with local using SQL Server. You tested it out because you wanna go to the cloud and Azure SQL database. Then you ran your testing using SQL Server on a container running on Linux, and all the while, the SQL project, SQL package, everything is keeping care of the differences, so you don't actually really have to care that if there's any discrepancies between these things, you can get your safe kinda deployments.
Exactly. And the thing to not gloss over that I think sometimes people get nervous about
Mhm.
is we have all these create table statements.
Right.
And those are really nice for us to read and say, like, okay, this is what the draft pick table looks like, or this is what our player table looks like. But what does the database need to do to update? Let's say I add that mock draft being written to the database. I might have some alter table statements that need to be run, but that's SQL projects' problem. That's not my problem to figure out. That's for SQL package to deal with.
That's a great point. So, like, you're not having to manage here the migration scripts or the state changes between the different versions as you
Right.
change things.
Exactly.
Awesome. Cool.
So
Well, I mean, I know we just shipped this recently and it seems like there's already new things in it from the last time I looked at it. What else is planned for SQL projects in SSMS?
So in a upcoming release, so later this quarter, we're going to add schema compare into SSMS. Like I mentioned before, these are the same SQL projects you can use in VS Code, where there's the publish dialog and the schema compare there. The same things are coming into SSMS as well, so you'll have kind of that nice dual operation. In addition to schema compare, we're also going to be adding in the database references. So let's say you want to reference some DMVs from master. That means that you can have those kind of utilities as a part of your database, but also validate you're using them correctly before you run into errors out in staging and production.
Love it. Awesome. Seems like a
Lots
great
of fun.
roadmap ahead, and I think this is just the beginning. So I'm really excited about it. I think our users will be excited about it too. Drew, thanks so much for coming on the show. I learned a lot. To our viewers, if you like this episode, we'll put some links in the description, including learning more about SQL projects in SSMS or SQL projects generally, and the DevCom site if you want to give any feedback. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think, and we hope to see you next time on Data Exposed.